Oh man, am I live? All right, I'm live. All right, forgive me, I'm chilling. I'm sick, and I sound really weird right now. But what's up, you guys? Like I said, I'm coming back to YouTube. So here's like the start of maybe. I say I'll give you a good 3 or 4 videos per week. That sounds pretty fair. I didn't do any more reviews last week because I was really sick. That's when I started to get sick when I started doing reviews. Um, I'm so sorry. But anyways, so and I have to do my videos like this with the live stream thing because for some odd reason YouTube won't let me record videos while I don't like to record videos from YouTube anymore. So I just decided to do it like this. I guess it'll be like this until I find a way to upload videos faster. But for now, this is the fastest way to upload videos. So I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna do my reviews this way as well. But anyways, enough of that. This video right now today is about Zoro theory. You know what I'm saying? And I've been thinking about because I've been sick, of course, like I said. And sorry. Stuck in my teeth. But the video, I mean, it's all I've been sick, like I said, and I've just been looking at One Piece. You know what I'm saying? I started out One Piece, so I'm gonna start this new burst of reviews with One Piece again. One Piece being my favorite series. So I won't be totally biased towards One Piece. Like if it deserves a great review, then it gets a great review. And if it's real shitty, then it's shitty. But like I said, One Piece is my favorite. And you'll say I've been looking at One Piece videos and I've been thinking about a lot of things. I actually started the series back over. And I came across Zoro and I thought about the things that are currently happening in One Piece. With Sanji, his family wanted him back and everything like that. And then it got me thinking, like Sanji had 2 backstories really. And I had brought this up back when we used to do the live streams, Friday night discussions, and all that type of stuff. I had believed that every Straw Hat would have 2 backstories, and I still believe that, excluding Usopp. I have no reason. I've seen no reason why he would have a second backstory. So excluding Usopp and maybe Chopper. I want to say maybe Chopper because I have this other theory that I'm working on as well. It's about Chopper being an experiment of Vegapunk because, like, if you think about it, his fruit is the human fruit. Like, how could that? The devil, if I'm not mistaken, the devil fruits were created. Well, not created, or created for the use of humans. You know what I mean? So a human fruit, how would that help another human? Come on. So I think he's like an experiment of Vegapunk. I mean, because Vegapunk, we know Vegapunk made it possible to give you a weapon, a devil fruit. So who's to say Chopper's not an experiment and they're gonna like have a flashback about him and the human fruit? Like maybe that was the start of like the artificial devil fruits and stuff like that. But that's another theory for another day. But anyways, this theory about Zoro. So, like I said, what we know right now about Sanji is that his family wants him back so they can have this alliance with Big Mom, and basically have this alliance with Big Mom so Big Mom can gain more power, basically, because she wants a big pirate fleet. Now, that got me to thinking. So Sanji has his second backstory about to be revealed, basically about his family, about before he came to the Baratier, which was the restaurant that we found him in the East Blue, I believe. Yeah, the East Blue, or was that West Blue? East Blue, I believe it's East Blue. And it got me to thinking, and I was like, man, now that I think about it, like I said, I was rewatching the series, and I was like, man, now that I think about it, Zoro in his flashback, either anime or manga, whatever you want to go with, really didn't have like that whole like. If you look at Sanji's backstory, even before like his first backstory, he had a whole arc that catered to him. Basically, the whole arc was like designed and built around him. get us into conflicts of like going like even if it wasn't like directly. Well, it kind of was because the restaurant was his life and he built it with Zeph, but still, it was like it wasn't like it was a whole arc built around him. And then I think about Zoro. Zoro's arc wasn't really built around him. It was about him coming to a town and protecting a few people. Like he coming to a town and a few days ago, and him trying to protect mother and child in a restaurant. Like that's not a real true backstory. Like Zoro didn't have an arc that catered to him and told a true portrayal of like what he went through. I mean, it may have showed Kuina and his sensei and all that, but it never really told us like where his origins, where he came from, what made him want to be a samurai, you know, that type of thing, like just that type of thing. And then I started thinking, and I was like, what's going on right now? I was like, man, Zoro's going to Wano country, and it's not coincidence. Why did Luffy send Zoro to Wano country? He's a samurai already. Nonetheless, he's a samurai. And he's going with Kinemon. And there's people commenting on it. I put this theory in Squad 00, and I've revised it because I like when people give me their rebuttals about my theories, because then I could like fix it and then find a way, like basically trying to make the theory be plausible. Like if you give me like for instance, someone said no in the anime that was kind of filler because he didn't show up to the village. In the manga, he was already in the village. It didn't show him showing up to the dojo. It basically just said he was basically already in the village. Now that made me think about another plausible way he was able to another plausible thing about this theory that I'm about to explain. So basically what I was thinking was what was I okay, yeah, so basically Zoro is going to Wano country. He's basically a samurai with Kinemon. He has a cursed sword from the guy from Thriller Bark, who's also from Wano country. And like the guy from Wano country goes on and says, you know, says Zoro's worthy to take his sword and everything like that. And then we also know that Zoro has conquered a cursed sword as well. So that gives us this characteristic of he's a true samurai warrior of some sort, to where he's basically gained the trust of every sword that he's had. You know what I mean? Like these swords have, like the way it's explained, these swords have souls of their own. You know what I mean? Like Mihawk even refers to a sword like a being itself. You know, even Shiryu, he says I think if I'm not mistaken, he says the sword was thirsty one time for blood or something like that. If I'm not mistaken. But like I said, Zoro's going to Wano country with Kinemon. And this made me think, what if Zoro's from Wano country? Now, let me pull up the theory really quickly. All right, I'm going to read it verbatim of what I said. 1 second. Clicked on the wrong thing. I'm working on my new, this is my Surface Pro. It's really cool. I like this thing. It gives me multitasking windows. But so I'm going to read it to you from the beginning, and then I'm going to go into more detail about how I came about this. All right, so it says, so as we all know, in the current arc of One Piece, Sanji's true backstory is about to be revealed. I believe the Straw Hats have two backstories, with the exception of Usopp and maybe Chopper. And I told you about Chopper's, the theory I had about Chopper, and I also put in here that maybe the witch doctor knows Vegapunk. Maybe she's like a scientist as well, and she knows about the human anatomy and all this other stuff, and animal anatomy and all that, like weird things like that. But and also this country was renowned for its doctors and stuff like that. So who knows? Maybe Vegapunk used the human anatomy to make a human fruit. Like I said, what does a human fruit help a person? That sounds like a fruit that was made just solely to turn an animal into a human. Like that's the thing I'm trying to say. And then I said, but the next try to get a second backstory, Zoro, which I'm on right now, as it's followed by Nami, which is, I mean, Nami is going to get the next in-depth story. Like we're going to find out where she's from, because what we know is like she's from like this like war. What war? Like we never knew what they were fighting for, and what war it was and stuff like that. And who her parents were. Maybe her parents were alive. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like who knows about that? And then it says, and I say, now you're probably wondering where I get this theory from, so I'll go down the list. All right, this is the first thing. First, I told you about this. Okay, now I told you this part already. His backstory, his first backstory, really revealed nothing to us. Um, and then I said, just like Sanji, like you know how Sanji, how Luffy said, yeah, go ahead and go attack Big Man's ship. We all knew in our minds, it was like, man, this is hopeless. Like Sanji's not gonna like solo a Yonko, like or that team that he has with Brook and Nami and Momo, they're not gonna solo Big Mom. That's out of the question. That's out of the question. So that's what I'm thinking now. Like, no matter how much, no matter how much you no matter how strong Zoro is or how powerful you think he is, I don't see him taking on Kaido. You know what I mean? I don't see that at all. And then so it gives you this hopelessness feeling of like there has to be something that interferes with the main mission to where it prolongs it, and like that's when Luffy has to really interfere, because right now Luffy doesn't really care for Kaido. Like we know that Luffy gets emotionally involved when he gets into a battle if he's emotionally involved. Like with Doflamingo, he was emotionally involved when the toy soldier and all this stuff that happened with the country. He was taking people's memories, and Luffy was really mad about Bellamy and stuff like that. Like he got emotionally involved, and he was like, I hate this. Like I want to kill you now. Like he wanted to beat the crap out of him. And right now, there's really no emotional, like besides Momo, but there's like he doesn't. We don't really know what's really happening. Like we don't know. And then I said, after that, I said, so just these two, these are writing patterns are older, basically. So if you don't have an in-depth backstory, and if you don't, basically the tragic, it's like a tragic thing leading up to a reveal, like that type of thing. That's the writing pattern I'm talking about. Pars, I feel we are going to get a second Zoro backstory, which will let us know he's from Wano country, which explains why the samurais from Thriller Bark throwback picture looks like Zoro. Samurai for throwback look like Zoro in the throwback picture. And that being said, two possibilities I've come across. All right, now this first one, at first I kind of was. At first it was like there's two possibilities I came across. It was the one where Zoro's poor. There's two possibilities. And then between the two, the percentage was like a 40-60 chance, with the 40% being the first one and 60% being the second one. But now that I've done more research and I've rearranged things in my theory, the first one seems like a 20% chance, and the second one seems like an 80% chance. You know what I mean? All right, so the first one is Zoro was a poor child who never had much and couldn't for some reason seek a master in his homeland, which is why he left to find a master, and he ended up in the East Blue. Yes, this means he grew up in the New World and had to make it through the Grand Line, which could explain why he's battle hardened once we see him in the East Blue. Now, I was going off the battle hardened part because he said he defeated Samurai before when he in the anime. When he showed up to the dojo, he said he wanted to be the best samurai. But when somebody pointed out that was filler, I readjusted it, and that's why that's going to add to my second thing I came towards. And the second one is, this one is more plausible. Zoro was just like Momo and was the child of a daimyo. Daimyo is they're basically vassals for the shogun. So basically, they're like the protected families. So basically, he was a part of the protected family. And why the fuck did my shit just close? Basically, he was part of the protected family of the sorry guys, I gotta pull this back up real quick. All right, so basically he was like a part of the protected family of Daimyo, and you can see with Momo, his family, I mean, the people that serve him, vassals are basically like feudal lords, basically. So the people that serve him are really loyal to him. So like just like Momo, the people are really loyal. And then that makes me think, what if Zoro's master in the manga is one of the people that serves Zoro's family, and the family was killed during Kaido's taking over Wano country. So Zoro's family had to, like Zoro's family sent them away, and so Zoro was old enough to know what was happening, understand. Well, Zoro was old enough to remember, but he was like he was young. He was too young to understand what was going on. So basically, Zoro and the master ran away. The master, of course, had a daughter for his own, basically, of course, as well. And they ran away to this dojo to where, and ran far enough away to get away from the new world to where they were soon dead and people didn't know about them. Like the East Blue is really far away from the new world if you think about it. And then yeah, like I said, Kaido was, and was during the time Kaido's reign was you know what I'm saying, Kaido's reign was about to happen. Like he started taking over, and his family died. I think his family died in the battle against Kaido, and his family died against Kaido. But I think I think one of them may have survived. If you think about it, like that's the only way he'll know. And once he goes to Wano, somebody's gonna recognize him. Like, oh my God, Zoro, it's you! I can't believe you're still alive. And he's like, who are you? And they're gonna tell him. They're gonna inform him. I don't think his master informed him because you got to think. Like I'm pretty sure his master didn't want him to realize, like, yo, you're 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 basically a lord right now. Like you're a lord. Like you're not royalty, but you're still important. Like you're a warrior. You're a warrior. You're from a warrior family. And then also the thing is, the master always held Zoro really near and dear to him, even though Zoro made a ruckus and like did all these outlandish things. Well, not really outlandish, but he was like really rowdy. Like the sensei still put up with him. He put up with him no matter what. And then I mean, if he does know, maybe that's why he wants to become the best swordsman. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he wants to take back the Wano country, but I doubt he knows. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not really like, I don't know. Maybe he does. He doesn't know. He's not really geared towards like really helping Wano, but maybe he recognizes the names because every time somebody brings up Jack or somebody brings up Kaido, like in these panels, there's always these dots beside his thing. Like I said, I was doing research tonight, and there was just a lot of stuff that came to my attention. But it was like always these dots, like on the ship when Kinemo mentioned Kaido. He was like he had these dots beside his name. He's like Kaido, like. And he was like, "What?" Like it was like he was thinking, like, I know that name from somewhere. And then when he was on Zoe, they were mentioning Jack, and he was like, I know that name too. And like he was just thinking, like leaning on the post, like I'm thinking, I know this name. And like you were saying, he's always thinking while their names are brought up. And it's not no coincidence he going to a samurai island. You know what I'm saying? Like if like you know what I'm saying? Like it's no coincidence. Oda never does this just to do it. Like I feel like this is a really solid theory in my opinion. I mean, if you have any parts where you can improve or enlighten me on, feel free to do so. Leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? That's about it. Like I said, I'm doing reviews again. This is not going to be just because of the video thing, but that was a mouthful. Whew. See you guys later. Yeah.